What's up, all you beautiful people? So the other day in the Beyond the Apex Accelerator program, one of the students was asking, hey, how are you guys tracking all your SOPs? Because if you are standardizing every single process that you're doing within your business, and then you're outsourcing, creating checklists, you're giving it to your team and expecting them to run it, you need to have a pretty robust system for tracking all of this, right? Well, yes and no. It's a lot simpler than you think it is, than it needs to be. Or it's a lot simpler than people make it out to be. That's for sure. If you're not careful, you can easily drown yourself in complexity as you're building systems within your business. So what I want to share with you today are just three core systems that at minimum your business needs. And if you have this, you're going to easily be able to scale to 7 figures. You don't need to overcomplicate this with fancy softwares or anything like this. You'd be surprised how many 8 and 9 figure businesses are run completely off the back of Google Drive and Google Sheets and Excel. Truly, actually, if I really think about it, if you took away everything at Invictus Capital, which is our 9-figure holding company, if you took everything away, but you gave us Microsoft Excel, we could still make it all work. Like, we don't need the fancy softwares. That stuff is nice. It's not necessary. So, without further ado, let's talk about the 3 core systems that you need to scale from 6 figures to 7 figures. And definitely you need these to get to the 8-figure mark. Okay. Number 1 is you do need to have an operations playbook. You need to have some way of standardizing and centralizing all the information that everybody in your business is doing, whether that's in marketing, it's in sales, it's in finance. Everybody has their own unique domain of experience that they are owning, but you need to have a repository for how they execute their different tasks. Because if that person ever gets hit by a bus, they leave the company for whatever reason, you don't want to lose all that wealth of knowledge and the systems and processes that they were using to execute, right? So you need to have a way of housing all that stuff. It makes it easier for training purposes, especially in the beginning. If you're running a 6-figure business, right now it's just you, maybe a couple of employees, and you're wearing 90% of the hats. Well, you're not gonna be able to delegate and offload these things from your plate unless you have a system around it that you can hand somebody and say, here's how it works, go run with it. So the system that we like to use is for our operations playbook is we use Notion. Notion is the simple place that we put all the links for all the different departments. The way that we categorize this is based off of admin, marketing, finance, operations. And then under each one of those, there's the different departments. And then in each of those folders, you find links back to videos that we use, say from Loom, where we record ourselves on a screen recording us doing the work and then talking through it. And then we keep the Loom video in the Loom folder. We link back to it from the Notion. But the Notion is our hub, is a central place from which we can see the entire company. Within just a few clicks, I can see exactly how everybody in every one of my companies does all the things that they do. And that way, if I ever need to take it back, or if we need to audit it and say, how do we do this better? Where are the mistakes being made? We can pull it open and we can do that. You will experience this new level of relief the moment that you realize your business is no longer dependent on one person, that you no longer have that fear of what happens if they leave me because they have all the knowledge stuck up here in their head. The Notion-based operations playbook is the location. That's how we've created it. You don't need to use Notion, but we like it because it's a very robust database, very simple to use, and very easy to see everything and then track it and then click around to get to where we're going. So the other 2 systems that we use, the next one is the collaboration station. The problem with Notion, it's a great place for a repository as a directory, sending you out to all the different things. But you need a place of housing that stuff, right? So the collaboration station is where we use Google Drive to store all the documents, all the spreadsheets, all the videos, all those things. And the reason we use Google Drive is we need to have the ability to update documents in real time, right? We talk about our playbook is a living, breathing document. If it's not being changed and improved every single month, then it is slowly becoming less and less relevant, decaying. So we need to constantly be updating these things. So there has to be an easy way for us to do that. It can't just be you on Microsoft Word, updating it on your central system and then uploading it every single time. We like to have everything in the Google Drive. So we can click in the Notion to find where it is, we go get it, and then we can update it in real time. Multiple people can be collaborating on the same document to improve it. So the collaboration station, this is where we keep all of our marketing materials, marketing collateral, so everybody can find it really easily. That is your collaboration station. Next is your sharing hub. So we don't use our collaboration station externally. The way to think about this is all for internal purposes. This is how our team communicates internally. The sharing hub is how we communicate all the things that need to be communicated externally. So we use Dropbox, you could use Box for this. So the way that this manifests then is when we are doing, say, a capital raise at Invictus Capital, we have our Dropbox and our deal room. That is where all the investors go to get all the information about the deal. It's where they're getting their PPM, their documents, the subscription agreements, all that stuff, right? So that is the singular place that they go externally, whether that's a customer, whether it's a vendor, like anybody outside the company, that's where we're putting information for them in a controlled manner. So we have those three systems at their core is really how 90% of our business is run, through the Operations Playbook, the Collaboration Station, and then the Sharing Hub. And you want to have some means, if you wanted to add another system in here, is a means of asynchronous communication in real time, right? So something like a Slack. I personally don't love Slack. I don't love using email to communicate things. I would much rather everybody have a cadence of communication that occurs in meetings and bring the things at once, instead of having these onesie-twosie conversations that are occurring every now and then, or like things getting put onto people's plates in a Slack message that might get lost in a couple of days. I would much rather that all be occurring within a meeting format. Now, the Slack and the Discord, we've done all that, and that's great for real time, just like saying hi and team building and like little pings. But the really big stuff, that really should be happening inside of meetings. So those are the three systems that we use in all my businesses, as scaled to 9 figures at this point for us. And I see no reason why it can't continue working, and it can't continue working for you as you want to make that jump from 6 figures to 7 figures. Go create your operations playbook, even if it's just you in the business right now. Even if you're the only employee, it's never too soon to start building this out, because you will not be able to outsource and delegate and build your team until you have that playbook, until you have the SOP that you can hand somebody and train them and say, here's how you do this thing. If you don't have that, you're gonna have a miserable hiring experience, and you will be like most entrepreneurs who then write off hiring altogether, and they say, oh, it's impossible to find good help. It takes too much time, too much energy. I have to hold all their hands, and then they do everything wrong anyway, so I just had to take it back. If you've ever said that to yourself, it's probably because your operations playbook really sucks. So get that dialed in, get your collaboration station and your sharing hub, and you will be good to go. So that's going to do it for me, guys and gals. We'll catch you in the next episode. If you have any questions, anything that you would love to hear on future episodes, DM me at the Anthony Vicino on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you guys. But until then, stay hyper focused, my friends.